centre at 7. Sir Cliff Richard says he'll fully cooperate with police investigating a historical child sex offence allegation. It relates to an event attended by an American evangelist in Sheffield in 1985. The 73-year-old singer's house in Berkshire has been searched, and he's dismissed claims against him as completely false. Barack Obama says the US has broken a siege by Islamist extremists on a mountain in northern Iraq. But the American president insists airstrikes will continue to try to disrupt them. He also thinks the refugee situation is improving, with thousands of those displaced by the fighters now having left the mountainside. Mr. Obama says that has a bearing on operations there.
We do not expect there to be an additional operation to evacuate people off the mountain, and it's unlikely that we're going to need to continue humanitarian airdrops on the mountain. The majority of the military personnel who conducted the assessment will be leaving Iraq in the coming days.
A record number of students are being given university places this year. That's despite the first fall in A-level grades in 32 years. They were down 0.1%. But more A-stars were handed out than last year. Selena got 100% in one of her exams.
Because I'm going to take a gap year this year, I've been accepted to do 10 weeks volunteer work in Malawi. My dream job would be to work for the UN, so I'm hoping that this experience will at least give me like a head start, because not many people can turn around and say that they've done 10 weeks volunteer work overseas.
Police looking for 3 brothers who disappeared from their foster home in Sunderland have made 2 arrests in Birmingham. The boys were last seen on Monday at a train station in Newcastle. The Court of Arbitration for Sports upheld the 4-month ban handed to Luis Suarez for biting an opponent at the World Cup, but the terms of this have been relaxed slightly. It means the striker can now train for new club Barcelona. And airline Flybe has brought in new safety checks following an incident where the artificial arm of one of its pilots came off. It meant a bumpy landing for a plane into Belfast City Airport in February. No one was hurt, though. That's the latest. I'm Tom Harrigan.
This is WFM 97.2.
Hi, this is Oz from the Reality Party, and you're listening to the unedited audio experience with Sandra Shufflebottom. Enjoy.
Hello. I'm going to knock that right off. Right, so tonight I've got, so you listen to me, Sandra Shufflebottom, and I've got a totally different kind of show tonight. I've got a phone in with Bill, Alien Bill. Are you there, Alien Bill?
Certainly am, Sandra.
Hello, Bill. Oh, God, I've been waiting all week for this.
Oh, crikey.
How are you doing? Are you all right?
Aye.
So, Bill's in Yorkshire. Whereabouts in Yorkshire?
York.
The actual town centre?
Yeah, it's in York.
Yeah, oh, it's beautiful, York. I love York. Right, so tell me all about your glowing arm.
My glowing arm? Well, arms is my, it's my left hand, which I've sent you pictures of, I know you've seen them. It's been lighting up for, one of the things now, about 6 years, most of the time. You can't see it with the naked eye, only when you actually take photographs of it. What our scientists or some people I've spoken to, nearly they've come to saying what they think it might be, but they're not sure. They said it's like vibrational transition, which basically there's like my hands have gone like tuning forks, and I'm picking up some of the life force and energy around me that visits me now and then, and for some reason makes my hands light up when I take photographs of it. And it's not actually just my hands that light up. I've had what you call small satellites. They're entities in energy within 3 foot to 10 or 12 foot away from me, glowing at the same time when this happens. But that isn't every time, but I've got quite a lot of photographs where there's something else hovering next to me while my hands lit up.
And you've got photographs of this happening?
Hundreds of them.
Wow.
I've been taking them for years.
So it's been happening for years and years?
My hand started about 6 years ago. I've been sat with friends at on stool bars in my local, and I put my hands down. I tell them as it gets late on the evening, my hands start going numb, and I say I'll just photograph my hands. I take a shot of that from my elbow down, and the first couple of shots my hand will come out basically normal, and then the third or fourth shot after that it glows like a beacon out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I've actually done this when I was in the Canaries to some of the friends I met there, who now we meet up with in Scotland from Glasgow.
Is this Alex who's listening in Glasgow?
That's Alex, my mate, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and then
we've
got a Colin H and a Tony and a Gary.
There's the boys.
Yeah, and they've all tuned in tonight.
Yeah, they're all witnesses.
Yeah? Oh, are they?
Tony, who was from the Quaker Wood, a good friend of mine, he's the only one who apparently took a photograph of me in there quite a while ago, and he says before he hit the shutter button on the camera, he said in the back of the digital camera I was glowing from my waist up before he took the picture. He's the only one that's ever said that and done that. And I said, take the photograph now, which he did. But he said he saw me light up through the back of the camera before he'd even taken the photograph. He's the only ever one that's ever said that.
And it's caused through entities that are around you?
That's apparently what I've been told, yeah. I have photographs of these other life forces anyway.
Are they the orbs?
Some are orbs that I get around me, and I get hundreds of those. And I've had hundreds of them in the garden all together in one go, and in fields. But some of the other designs I get around me that look like strange beings made of pure light.
Are these the fairies sort of thing?
No, that's a totally different story, that. Yeah, that was taken at the back of a church a few months ago, where I've been filming at the back of there for 5 years, doing my research to do with my cosmic visitors.
Yeah.
And I'm well known with the police in York, because they used to catch me there at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, pull up outside, and they don't now because they know me. And one night I was leaving there around 2 o'clock, they thought they'd caught me burglaring. So, could we have a look in your bag, sir? Because I always carry a haversack with me, which I have about a few hundred of my X-Files in. I have a baseball cap on and shades like you've seen on the poster that Tina Marie did.
Yeah.
So obviously I looked a bit suspicious. So they got a shock when I showed them. Oh, they also said, we've heard from neighbours that you've been taking pictures of the back of the church. Can we have a look what you've got on your camera, sir? I said, I'd be delighted to show you. And have a look. So first picture I showed them was my hand lit up at the back of the church windows, and I went, is your camera broken, sir? Why is it broken? Well, of course it's not broken. Well, your hand's glowing, sir. Your camera must be broken. No, that's what's supposed to happen. And they said, what else have you been photographing? I said, I'll show you the next picture. So the next picture I showed them, I pointed the camera up to the sky, and I said, I took a shot above the church roof like this, and they went, what are those lights up there, sir? I said, what would you like them to be? We don't understand, sir. And I just went, Spielberg style, do. So they chatted me for about 15 minutes. One of them actually went to the front door of the church, trying to check if I'd been breaking in and stuff.
Oh, God.
So that's where the fairy picture come from. But that was 5 years on when I got that picture. Possible fairy picture. It's not been proven yet. That investigation's still ongoing.
Yeah.
And it's been to a lot of universities, and nobody's given us an answer.
Well,
so that's intriguing.
Yeah, very cool. It's a brilliant picture. Brilliant.
Yeah. I met 3 professors from York personally myself, and went to see them, and they couldn't work out what it was either.
Mad. Brilliant
It's
picture.
good in the book anyway.
Oh, yeah. So, tell me about with Nick Pope.
About Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, I met him in 2009 at a conference in Leeds. Only had a short chat with him, showed him a couple of pictures which stunned him. He wasn't sure I was showing him. And he was there in the foyer promoting his books, as a lot of them do. And then some other people over there, a laddie called Steve Jones. He's just been on your TVs recently. He did a series in America, and he's now one of my best friends. It's called Uncovering Aliens.
Oh, yeah?
Well, his lassie, Annie Jones, who was my best friend from London, who's been helping promote me, she's written one foreword for my book. Malcolm Robinson's writing a second foreword for it. And she says, I've never met anybody like us. But I showed her the pictures when her husband Stephen was promoting his book near Nick Pope. And he's the one that told me to come away from him and said he's not worthy. Come and chat to us, he won't understand. And I showed his partner, his lassie Annie, the picture of the light beams that came to me in 2009 in the front garden. On the
Did these people stay long? Did you chat to them?
Oh, yes. No, I've been back to London and met them on quite a few occasions now. We're best of friends. We stay in touch all the time.
Right, when you was talking to these light beings.
Oh, these light beings?
Yeah.
I didn't speak to them.
Right.
No. I actually, the first time they came in my garden, I was that shocked at first, but I knew, because I've had lights around me since I've been a child. The first one I remember is when I was 5 years old on Christmas Eve. And my father used to come upstairs and put Christmas presents at the end of the bed with my brother in the other bed. He never used to put them under the tree. I remember this night he came up, and about 15 minutes or so before that, around midnight, I'd got up to see the lights that appeared at the window, and I put my hands out to these lights, and I just stood there mesmerised. And I remember my dad coming up behind me and saying downstairs to my stepmother that I was stood at the window with these glowing lights saying he didn't know what the heck was going on. And he was very old-fashioned Victorian, and he never discussed it with me. Never after that, and that's my first recollection, having a visit from some lights. So when they came in the garden in 2009, I was saying to my wife, it's near 21st of December, around midnight again. I was out in the freezing front garden, as it would be in December, and my wife says, what are you waiting out there for? And I said, something's going to happen. I says, I just know I'm supposed to be in the front garden. She says, you're going to get hypothermia, you've only got a thin fleece on, get in here. I said, no, I have to wait here, something's going to happen. So, as it got near to the time when I sensed this energy building up around me, I got my camera switched on, and it went on to red, low battery. And I thought, you have got to be kidding. I know I'm going to film something in a minute. I didn't know what, I just sensed I was going to film something. So I dashed in quick. At that time, I didn't have a spare battery. I put it on charge really quick, just for a few minutes, got some energy into it, straight back in the garden. Within seconds, you couldn't see with naked eye, but I just saw it. It was like a terracotta colour. Appeared all over the road and in the garden. And then I took this photograph, and I got a picture of 7 beings on it, one hovering in midair. Really strange designs. And over the road, you can see some others hovering around the roof, just appearing through this terracotta mist, which I've been told is like a dimensional field that they come through.
Yeah.
So this picture's going to be famous. Quite a lot of people have already seen it.
I was going to say,
detail in it.
I was just going to say, is it on Facebook? So it's not on Facebook?
No, it's not allowed to be on there. I've got a deal with the publisher coming up and says, don't be releasing all your other pictures yet till you finished your book.
Yeah.
So I can't do it, but I've shown a lot of people it. And Stevie Jones and Annie, I told you I met at the conference where Nick Pope was in Leeds.
Yeah.
I showed his lassie, Annie Jones, the picture, and she dug Steve in the ribs and said, stop signing your book, Steve. She said, I've been you for over 20 years, and he's been an abductee for over 50 years. And he says, when he's been taken before, he's seen these billions that are from about 9 foot to 16 foot tall on craft when he's been taken. And she says, these are what you described to me you've seen when you've been taken. And he says, they're the light beings. And he had a look at the picture. He was absolutely stunned. He says, where's he got this from? Has he been abducted? And he says, no, they came to his front garden to visit him. That's his garden. And since then, we've been best of buddies.
And this is Steve Jones?
Steve Jones.
Yeah.
Now, he did that uncovering agencies, which is being replayed again on the TV with the people in America. Yeah. We were supposed to be doing a second series, but I got hold of Annie the other week, and she said they've cancelled doing the second series for whatever reasons. So they were a bit disappointed with that.
So is that the only time that you've seen these light beings?
What, these beings like this?
Yeah.
Oh no, when I go off the fields around York or Canaries and Cyprus where I've been off and other places, sometimes when I'm in the field taking my photographs, all the hedgerow and the trees and the farmer's field disappears around me. I can't see any sky or anything. All I suddenly see is a multiple designer colours, and I always get one picture. I never get loads of them. I've got loads before when I've been there and the field hasn't disappeared, but when the field disappears, I always get one picture, and always in the corner of some of the pictures, there's a segment of a light being stuck in the corner of it, like hovering in it, and then all these strange designs around me. And it seems to only last a minute or so. And I always check the back of the camera, have I got that picture?
Yeah.
And I always get something, every time. So, loads of people have seen these at different conferences, and people I've met in London, and Malcolm, who's been doing paranormal stuff for nearly 40 years. He's from Scotland. He's about the best paranormal ufologist they've ever had from Scotland, is Malcolm. And he's well on board with me. He spent 5.5 hours with me at a hotel in London about 18 months ago. And we're great buddies and all now. I'm going to see him again in October at this conference.
What's his surname? Malcolm
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah, he's been on loads of TV documentaries to do with Scottish UFOs and lots of the programmes. He's been all around the world at lectures and done TV shows. And radio shows.
Have you done lectures about,
Well, I haven't done any yet. He wants me to do some with him and partner up with him sometime, and we probably will.
Well, you could do, because you've got enough pictures.
I've got, my last count roughly is about 56,000.
Oh, laddie. Wow.
That's one or two, isn't it?
That's mental.
And there's only about 120 or maybe 140 going in this book. It's going to be a big book. It's going to be about A4 size, so you can see the pictures better.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to it already. Wow. And of course, you've not got a name for it yet, have you?
No.
It will. It'll come to you.
It'll come to me. It's very important I get his name right. Because I tell everybody, this is my book. I call it their book. And I'm doing it for them.
Well, are they ever talking to you?
No, not like we're talking now, Sandra.
No.
I get odd little words that pop into my head now and then. Like baby steps. And save the children. And just odd little things like that just pop in my head now and then when I'm out in the fields with them. Because I go to the fields most nights.
Yeah.
Always after midnight, and sometimes I get back at 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes I'm only half an hour. Latest I ever got back was 4:30 in the morning. I went about 4 miles out of York. My wife was about to phone up police, ambulances and everything. She thought, I'd definitely gone, I've had an accident, what have you got to... That night I had 12 UFOs above me in a field. They were a bright orange colour. Other people had seen them around York over the last few weeks, and they were hovering above my head in this field. I call it my Ground Zero field. So that night I spent quite a while with them, and I was very late getting back, but it was worth it.
What was going on in your head then? What sort of things was he trying to communicate?
When I'm out with them, all I feel is really happy and peaceful, and they seem to want to pass it on. That's the impression I get. But when I have come across them, I've had another people, I'm in touch with people in Australia, quite a few now. Barbara Lamb has done loads of documentaries and TV shows and written books.
Yeah.
Mary Rodwell from Queensland, and a lassie called Yvonne Schooler from Victoria. And Yvonne Schooler lives on a farm in Victoria, Australia. I've sent her some of my pictures. She's given me their email addresses, and we go snap. And she has huge coloured dogs around there a lot of times, as Yvonne Schooler, and she's going to do books and other things about them. But I get different designs around me as well, some very strange designs. There's chapter 10 in my book, I'll to explain it, the title will tell you, When a Cat is Not a Cat. That's chapter 10 in my book.
When a cat is not a cat?
Yeah, because I had 3 cats come to the front of my garden on the driveway when I was leaving at 1 o'clock in the morning, and my little dog Rocky, who's half Chihuahua, half King Charles Spaniel, is actually like a muscly Chihuahua dog, really, about the size of a terrier.
Yeah.
He never likes me going out in the early hours. He was at the door as I was going off, and I was saying to him, I shan't be long, little fella, I'll see you later. And he's always snarling and having a go, don't like me going off. When I opened the door, 3 cats were sat at the end of my drive, and they all looked like they were cloned, and they were just slightly bigger than a normal cat. And they were all tabby cats, and I just thought, well, that's a bit flipping odd. 3 cats sat on the end of my drive, and Rocky looked at him straight away, and he's thinking, right, cats in my territory, I'm having them. But while they were sat there, when I looked into their eyes, the eyes were about the size of a baseball, and they were changing colours like traffic lights, just staring at me.
Wow.
So there's a whole chapter, that one, When a Cat is Not a Cat, hence the title, just they were exactly cats. I can't go into all the chapter, but my dog had a go at them.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, he couldn't get hold of them at all. They just gloved their eyes down at him. He jumped over the top, went over the road, I'll tell you this quickly, and they sat either side of him like Egyptian statues. One either side of him, one laid in front. So after a while I got him in, because he went flat as a pancake into a right major distress state with himself. When I eventually got him in, I went back out, right annoyed what these entities had done to my dog. And I found out since Annie thinks there were some other type of benevolent beings came to visit me for whatever reason. And I filmed them. I stood in the middle of the road. There was 2 of them left. One had disappeared. The 2 that I filmed, I could have videoed them, but I just took still photographs of them, which is good in the book. And after I filmed them a number of times, they just dematerialised from the ground up, from the pavement up to the heads, until just the eyes were glowing, and then just switched off like a light bulb. Wow. And I filmed all this. Isn't that strange?
Wow, I want to see it. Flipping heck, that's crazy. That's brilliant. I'd love to see that.
Oh, that's going in the book with the photographs. And what happened to my dog and other things. The following night, I thought, I'm never going to see that again. Went out the following night. I got to the front garden again. For some reason, I go off to the right to these fields that are only about a mile away from me. And sometimes I go 3 or 4 miles. I just look. When I go off the fields, I look into the sky, and I see light signs in the sky. And I just follow these lights, and that's the field I go in.
Yeah.
I don't always pick the field I want to go in. Sometimes I get guided to them. So, when I'm sat here now at my window, and there's clear sky, you can see how daylight it is now, flying from right to left, I can see what nicknamed fire stars, they call them, because they're a dull red colour in the night, and I can see thousands of them all flying around from right to left.
Yeah.
With my naked eyes now. An old fellow in London called Benjamin Creme that I met, who's done lectures all around the world since the 1950s. He's an author, lecturer and an artist. Bless him to bits, I love him to bits, this fellow. He's written loads of books, and one book that he did write when I went to meet him at Friend's house opposite Euston Station in London was called The Gathering of the Forces of Light, UFOs and Their Spiritual Mission. He has given me permission, because I'm always in touch with him and his organisation called Share International, to pick any paragraphs out of that book to put in mine. Because when I showed him my pictures, I met him in London, he says, you are connected spiritually with the cosmos, and you have something called etheric vision. That's why I can see these other things, like from another dimension. So we've become good friends over that.
What was his name again? Benjamin?
Benjamin Graham. He's been around the world since the 1950s doing lectures everywhere in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
He's a very wise man.
So when was the last time you had a chat with with anybody, these beings?
With the ETs?
Yeah.
A few nights ago, but I speak to them all the time. I don't always actually hear verbal things back. I just feel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just show different life forms and designs to me. One thing that's going in the book, it's called my Audible entity. Malcolm's seen this. I took it down to London to show him, and I put it on my laptop, and he was absolutely stunned. Well, he was stunned with everything I showed him. He put it on Facebook straight away, about meeting me for 5.5 hours, and says I'm bringing up the faith in him for aliens and paranormal stuff that he could ever imagine. Because he used to be a skeptic, and he admits it. But he's changed his mind now, and he's off the fence. He's Malcolm. Anyway, I showed him what I call this audible entity. This is when I filmed about size of football, some maybe the size of a basketball, red orbs around me, dozens of them. And I took about 40, 50 pictures of these, and I've seen these before, and I was happy about that. Brought them in. I always check the camera when I get in. I thought, they're all in order. The next day, I downloaded them on my computer, and my wife was in the room, and she heard me shout out, what the hell's this? Something not right here. And I said, still frames, Vic. My wife's name was a ballet teacher. Is 7, 8 and 9 is videos. I said, I haven't videoed anything. And I said, the still photos I took last night are turned into videos. So, check the camera again. I put the memory card back in the camera that I'd used, and it just showed me all the still pictures. When the memory card was booted into the computer, 7, 8 and 9 done in a real fast split second, because Malcolm checked my camera down near London, and he said, you can't even put the video recorder on fast enough to have filmed that, because it happened so quick. 3 separate videos, and I called it the audible entity, because there's a 3D life form less than 4 foot away from me, making strange noises next to me. And somehow this life form implanted itself in my camera while I was just taking still photographs. And that's still getting checked out. Isn't that strange?
That's crazy.
Yep, and I didn't film it. It filmed itself.
Yeah. But what... Could you feel what he was trying to say?
All I saw was these orbs glowing around me. So I just see a flash of them, and then I can see them on the back of the camera. They sort of lensed it. I didn't have a clue it was there till the next day, and I downloaded my pictures onto my computer. So that's going to be a different story just on its own.
Yeah? Yeah, flipping heck.
Isn't that crazy? But it's all good, Sandra.
You're not kidding, it's all good. I want to come out with you and have a night out here and see all these orbs.
Well, I used to go night fishing years ago with some friends, and every time I've gone night fishing with them after catfish, ETs have turned up. Strange red lights in the sky have come, and other objects have come around, and they've gone back into little bivvy tents. My mates have said, if that's come to visit you, Alien Bill, we're not here. You haven't seen us. And the scuttle off. The big lads at all.
Have you, what do you think of the crop circles?
The crop circles? Right, I'm actually in touch with Colin Andrews.
Oh, all right.
About that. Yeah. I'm going to end up meeting him one day, and we'll have a chat. I've not seen any myself. I haven't even been to Wiltshire yet.
Yeah.
I will get there eventually. Like most people say, over 90% of them, they're being faked. But a very small percentage of them definitely are not faked.
Did you see the one gone down today? And it's it's beautiful. There's no way in the world that it could possibly be man-made.
No. Well, these friends I told you I'm in touch with from Australia, they've come over themselves and been to Wiltshire and visited them.
Oh, yeah.
It's not to go meet to this year in Glasgow, but I was too busy.
It's not Red Collie, is it?
Pardon?
Is it Red Collie? My mate Red Collie?
No.
No, okay.
No. But, yeah, quite a few of them are definitely some form of message. You've got to think, these beings that are doing all this, they could be tens of thousands, a million years, or whatever older. So it's difficult for them, when they've got to that level, I'm sensing, to find it hard to communicate and understand us on a basic level. This is why these things happen to me. You want about my hands lighting up? My left hand's been lighting up now for about 6 years. I've done it in pubs in front of people. We have the mystery plays in York. The guy of Coronation Street who played the devil of it in York, I've forgotten his name offhand now. Anyhow, he was there with about 150 people at mystery plays in York. So my wife's been involved in because she's a amateur.
Oh, but who was it? Oh, it's going to do me head in now. He was the one that played the butcher. Fred.
He played John, the teacher on Coronation Street.
Oh, right, I know. Do you know, I've worked with him.
Have you?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Some photographs taken with him. I gave him some of my cosmic pictures I actually took in the Museum Gardens in York of Orbs appearing over the open stage that they built. Right. And I said, you've been a good devil, which is very hard for me to say, good devil, because I'm connected with good light. But I said, these are souvenirs for you to Graham, as his name was, of what I filmed when you was on stage of these orbs, which are ET entities, appearing while you're doing the mystery plays in York. And I took photographs of my hands lighting up over the audience and invited the cosmic beings to appear at this theatre show, and they did, and I filmed them. So I gave them copies of the pictures in a pub in York on the last night. And then I put my hand out in front of loads of people actually in the pub, and there were some lasses there who go to some spiritual churches in York, and they said, one of them said, as a friend of my wife's, I could feel all his energy around Bill's body. And look, he's putting his arm out in front of everybody, he's going to photograph his arm. So I took the photograph, and the first picture I took, I couldn't see anybody in the room. The whole room, virtually, apart from my wife's jacket on the back of a chair, went white. So then they saw me talking to his energy that was around me, and I said, that was too much energy, you've wiped everybody out. I can't see anybody. Can you give me less energy in my arm so I can just have my arm lit up and see the folk in the background? The next picture I took, all my arm from my forearms lit up to my fingertips, everybody else behind it, including Graham and my wife, are all in focus. So that's going in the book and all.
Is it ask and you shall receive, isn't it?
Isn't that extraordinary?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
My right hand only started a few months ago. It was an afternoon, Saturday afternoon at 2:30. I was sat having a snack with my little dog Rocky on the couch on his rug, on a tray. Wife was doing some work in our little L-shaped office in the corner of the lounge on the computers, and she just heard me scream out. And she says, "What's up with you?" I said, "I've just got a massive pain, like electric shock or something, gone into my right hand." My wife said, "I thought I connected with you through your left hand." I said, "Something has happened to my right hand just now, because I've jumped up, spilt some of the food on the floor, and my little dog Rocky leapt off the couch and cowered down the floor, and he sensed something was wrong with me." So I said, "I need to get my camera." So I got my camera out of my haversack, which I have 2 cameras with me all the time, took one out, took a photograph instantly. This was like a sunny afternoon at 2:30 of my right hand, and like a mitten cut straight across my wrist. My right hand was glowing, like my left hand had been doing for 6 years. But it was just a clean-cut line straight across my wrist, like I had a little white mitten on.
Wow.
And that had been doing that now for, about 6 months or so. And only early in June, it suddenly switched off. But my hands are still numb, but my right hand has switched off. So, wasn't that strange and all?
That's bizarre. That's bizarre. Does it hurt at all?
And it just goes numb. So they get numb now. As it gets later on into the evening, my hands just get number and number. So I actually tell them off, because I'm right-handed and I drink bottles of Budweiser. And I tell them, do not make my hand go numb when I've got a Budweiser in it. It's too expensive. I'll be very annoyed if I'm dropping bottles of Budweiser all over the pub floor.
Yeah.
So I have a bit of a joke with them about that. Because sometimes I do go completely numb and, well, I can't hold anything. I have to really concentrate to get rid of anything.
Yeah, but that's...
It's all coming together.
No, but it will affect your typing, you know?
Pardon?
It will affect your typing, that, wouldn't it? You wouldn't be able to type.
Recycling?
You're typing, you know, on the computer.
Oh, typing? Oh, yes. No, well, it doesn't stay numb, like, for hours. It's just, I'm used to it anyway. It's almost like pins and needles.
Yeah.
And it just, every time I get round into the evening, it just builds up stronger. So, and I type only with a few fingers anyway. So I'm managing that. So I'm just getting the hang of all this typing for the book. Plus we're winning.
Yeah. You'll get, if you do a little bit every night, you know, it soon adds up, innit? You'll get there. You'll get there. You'll finish it.
This is what Malcolm said. My friend Malcolm used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and start on his book. It's just the one to do with the Loch Ness Monster. He's doing another UFO one next year that he's going to write about me in. And he used to start 4 o'clock in the morning before he went up to do his journalism work in Hastings at the Observer. Before he even went to office, because it's nice and quiet in the morning, and that's how he could concentrate better. But a lot of times I've been coming in like 2 o'clock or 2:30 from the fields, and I had up to starting writing at that time when I've been out in the fields for a while. So I do it a bit later on.
Yeah, I wrote a bit of a book, and I found it easier in the middle of the night. You know, everything's quiet, and you know, just set the computer to bed and just do a little bit. Yeah. And before I knew it, I had a bit of a book, you know, so... not that I've done anything with it, it's...
peaceful and everything, Sandra. Everything floods into your head quicker, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have all the distractions.
Yeah.
That's why I like going to the fields much later on. I get away from all the noise and distractions, and I find somewhere quiet and get on with what I'm supposed to do. Or I just wait. Something turns up every time I go. I filmed a lot of my pictures to do with the mist that comes around me. I've shown professors these from universities and other ones, and they can't work out what it is. When you zoom in on this mist that comes around me, it's not actually like, I call it the mist, but it's not like vapour. When you zoom in it on the camera and on the computer, it's like it's full of tiny little cells. And I showed some professors when I showed them the possible fairy picture a few weeks ago in York, and even they noticed it looked like it got cells inside it. And outside my local, this you can actually see with the naked eye. And I've had punters outside my local pub and come into the car park, and I said, stand next to me, and these lights will appear, and they'll come in full of mist, and don't worry, it's friendly, it just will appear around me. And you can see it just appear with naked eye, but it happens really fast. It doesn't like come on like a sea threat from the coast coming in and stay around for 5-10 minutes or half an hour. It's in seconds, and then it goes off, and then it comes back again. And a lot of times I see this mist, I actually see it not as a cloud or misty colour, I see it as a royal blue colour. But the camera, I don't know why for some reason, hardly ever picks up this blue. But now, only a few months ago in the back garden, I've managed to video it using 2 Fuji cameras.
And what colour was it?
It's blue colour.
Good.
I've got it about, I've shown people the pictures of it, about 15 foot across around my rooftop, and it is a royal bluish colour. And I've got it 7.5 minutes on video in my back garden, using 2 cameras, taking still shots of it as it comes to me, and then videoing myself taking still shots of it. And then I got 9 minutes of it a few days later at one of my fields on video. So I was really happy to capture that on video.
What do you think this myth is?
Well, chapter 11 in my book is going to be called The SETI Connection. It's to do with a fellow called James Gilliland, who was a spiritual cosmic boy.
I know that name.
James, from Washington State, from the SETI Ranch. Well, it took me 14 months to get hold of him. All my friends in London said, when you need to get hold of James Gilliland, Alien Bill. And when I did in the end, I told him I've seen some of his pictures off his website from this mountain called Mount Adams in Washington State, off his SETI Ranch. And I said, round people sat on the camper chairs, before these lights appear from the back of this mountain, which you film in the sky, which is ET connected, you'll have this blue mist hovering round people, all sat with the cameras, which visits me in York. I filmed it in York, Scotland, London, Cyprus, and the Canaries.
Wow.
When I got hold of him and told him about this, and other beings that had visited me, he said straight away, there's a connection, and you have permission to write a chapter in your book about this blue mist and the lights that visit you in York, connecting with my ranch. So that was good of him, because I won't print anything in the book without other people's permission.
No, of course
I have to have their consent, and I have to let them know why I feel it's connected thousands of miles away. And it is. It's the same design. Some of the orbs in the sky, huge spheres that are filmed 30 or 40 foot across, with like a little tail coming off the back end of them, only a small one, like a fuse on, like them old bombs that they used to have.
Yeah.
It's like a little fuse on. I filmed those, hundreds of them, and Mary Rodwell in Queensland, she's filmed one, and it looks almost identical to mine, Ramda Bay in Australia, and we swapped pictures over, and she was just blown away. Thousands of miles away from Australia, she's filmed the same thing in the sky that I have filmed hundreds of them just around York.
That's so smart.
So it's all connected around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we'll have disclosure?
Oh yes.
Do you think that the governments will eventually say, yeah?
Well, you've all got this technology now, haven't you? With your mobile phones and all your amazing cameras and other things, and there's so much stuff now being filmed all over the globe. They're looking a little bit stupid. They're doing all these nows all the time. It's just not adding up, is it?
Well, I think what stops them is the free energy, because the first thing people are going to start asking is, well, all right then, ET exists. How are you powering that machine? You know, and
that's right.
And that's it. It's game over, isn't it? After that, it's that's why, isn't it? But I used to think that they would. I thought, yeah, of course they will one day. But now, no, I don't think it. There's one country though. Oh, I can't remember. Okay, something like Brazil. Brazil, where Jamie Mousen is.
All right. Well, Brazil and all in places are really hot spots like Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. And they're sort of coming around. So, well, yeah, ET does exist. But,
well, even the Vatican's coming on board. So they have spent a lot of money on it, and now they talk about aliens. So we're getting somewhere, aren't we?
It's not quick enough for me.
I know. You know, it's been a bit of a long haul, to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least. Flipping heck. It's just been. At least I think now, more and more now, people aren't saying to me, "Oh, you're a fool." For what, you know, I'll use another word. I'm not being called an idiot and stupid as
that
much as I used to.
Lots of people.
No, I'm finding more and more and more people are going, yeah, you're right, they do exist.
Good.
Well, and that's just my own personal, what's happening to me.
Have you seen anything personally yourself that you haven't been able to understand and thinking, what on earth am I looking at?
I've seen 2 UFOs, yeah. And I think that they were just saying, well, in my head, what was going on was like, hi, we're here. And I'm like, well, I know. I know you exist. You don't have to prove yourself to me. And the first one was just a crazy load of lights. And I live right on top of an airport, and I know all the flight paths and all the rest of it. And then the second time, I was just walking down the hall, upstairs, and I saw this orb coming towards me in the sky, in the night sky. And I wasn't even thinking, oh, what is that UFO? UFOs didn't exist in me. Do you know what I mean? I thought, what's that? What's going on? And then
did it have a colour?
Well, it was just a pale silver, orb came in, and then it turned into a star and started shining and twinkling, and then it moved. It was just ridiculous, what went on. In the end, I know it sounds a bit like, but I got fed up with it. Yeah, it's like, I know ETX, I know you're there. Nice to see you, mate, but Coronation Street's on. And I
apologise to you later in the field for that. When I see them tonight, I'll be going against that. So you didn't mean that. I'm fed up with you.
After a bit, it's like, what else can you do? Sign my name. It's just there, it's flickering, and Coronation Street's on downstairs. I'm sorry. We've got our priorities, haven't we? And,
the typical saucer shape that a lot of people report around the world.
Yeah.
I have only ever seen one of those, and it wasn't actually a saucer shape when I saw it. It was near the York racecourse late one night, and it was actually an orange ball.
Oh, yeah.
In the sky. And I've seen loads of these before.
Yeah.
And I saw it floating down towards me, down the Neesmire, and when it got near me, it changed shape. It just stopped in mid-air and changed shape, and actually did stop dead. And then in the grey and black sky, I saw the greyish to black as well, sort of actual shape at an angle of about 70 degrees. And that's the only sort of shape I've seen. And when I tried to get photographs of it, because of the colour of the sky around it, nothing came out. And when it was hovering there, then it went off really slowly across the Neesmire at an angle over the church we were talking about, where I took all these other pictures. It wasn't far from there. It was only about a few hundred feet away from me. And there was a young couple behind me outside this pub, and I thought, crikey, they can't see that. But I only saw it because I was looking at this orange light, and I saw it change shape. So I put the camera on remote first to record it, nothing, and then I just started to load a series of pictures fast as I could. When I checked them the next day, I didn't have any picture of it at all. What I think it had done, it had like semi-cloaked itself, so nobody could see it easily.
Yeah.
They're very clever at that.
Well, I think we've got, you've only got to look to Star Trek for a lot of... With Star Trek, for me, right, that's pretty much real. They have got this, what is it, protocol, that they can't interfere, that, we've just got to get on with it ourselves. Oh, it's called something. Janeway used to say it on Janeway had Voyager.
Oh, right.
And I never missed it because I want to grow up and be Voyager. Well, I used to say years ago, I'm not coming back unless I can have my own starship. And then after seeing Janeway, I say, well, I'm not coming back until I can be Janeway and have my own starship. And yeah, brilliant. But what was I saying about Janeway? What was we talking about?
What, with Janeway?
Yeah.
I was just telling you about that saucer shaped one that I had seen that did the cloaking.
Ah, was that? That was it. Cloaking. That was Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, for years and years and years, they've been going on about, they've got a cloaking device. And when it's really pretty simple. It's all to do with bending light, isn't it?
It is.
Cloaking.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
Well, the scientists and things around here now, anyway, are already managing to cloak things into their own fashion. So imagine if you've got technology going back thousands of years.
Yeah.
How refined they'll have that off to now. Well, this is one that never cloaked itself a while back. I'm going to call the chapter something like Fire in the Sky. Remember from the Travis Walton movie and what happened to that lumberjack fellow? Which I hope to meet Travis someday. One at conferences ago, so I'm hoping he's going to be there to have a chat with him.
Yeah.
But I've actually filmed what he called the Fire in the Sky. And I've already sent these pictures to my friends in London and to Malcolm down in Hastings. And he was stunned over that, like he's most of the things I send him. When I got into one of my fields on this night, within seconds of me stepping into the field, all the crop that was in the field, and right across the field as far as I could see, started glowing red. And I just thought, what on earth has happened to this field? Why has it suddenly gone red? And then I instantly looked up into the sky, and all I could see was like a shimmering, almost like a hazy red cloud, but shimmering, and it was less than 100 feet up or more, just stood there glowing. And I thought, well, that is what has lit the field up. And I thought, I hadn't even got my cameras at my haversack then, so I looked over it, pointed my finger at it, and don't you move.
Yeah.
Well, I just get my camera. I thought, I have to get a picture of this, because I never know what I'm going to see next. So I got my camera out, and you can actually see, over the farmer's edge, where this field I was near, there's a street lamp casting my shadow into the field when it's red.
Yeah.
And you can see me pointing up with my hand on my shadow to where this red light is in the sky. And at the end of my baseball cap, you can see the lens extended out, pointing exactly at where it is. This lasted for about a minute. So I got the one shot, and then I was sorting out trying to get some other pictures of it, and it just switched off and disappeared. And the field went back to its normal colour. So I then instantly took a picture, so I've got evidence on the camera of the field looking normal seconds later. So you get the date and time on the camera. It's very important for the research. So I filmed the field immediately after this light disappeared. And that was like fire in the sky.
Where was you? Where was you again?
That was in a field just called near Natson, just a few miles out of York.
So York, so you're still in Yorkshire?
Yeah. Most of my pictures are from York, because obviously I live here.
Yeah.
When I went to meet Malcolm in London, on about my mist and lights that come to me, my hands lit up, I'd done this in the hotel I was staying at, and I was meeting Malcolm on the Saturday lunchtime. We came up from Hastings to our hotel. On the Friday night, I said to my wife, I'm going to go to Russell Square, put my hands, because a lot of times I touch nature and trees, and as I talk to nature as I'm talking to the ET life forms, because there's a connection with nature with them, and they have a lot of respect for nature, so which I have had anyway before doing all this cosmic stuff. So I put my hands to the
have you always
Russell Square?
Yeah, go on.
And there were 7 guys or so over the road, so watching me saying, what the hell's that guy doing? And I'm saying, hurry up, this is like 12:30 at night. And I said, I want some pictures here now to show a fellow I'm going to meet tomorrow. This was Malcolm Robinson. Straight away on the camera, so I can show him I took these in London the day before I meet him, so I was showing him the photographs. Well, within seconds, they lit my hand up, and all the mist appeared in front of this tree, and I got about 6 pictures of it. I could have got more, but these guys over the road were coming over to me. It was late at night. Obviously, I had a bit to drink, and were coming over to see what I was up to.
Yeah.
So then I departed, and those pictures I showed Malcolm the next day to show him it doesn't matter where I am, this is what happens to me. And he was very impressed with that. I took those night before. He said he's just getting a load of pictures out of me X-Files, out of me haversack.
Yeah.
That's what I try and do.
Well, it's 10 to 8 now, Bill, so I know I've had you gabbing for an hour and I bet you're choking for a brew. So just tell me, just to end on, what do you... Have you ever met any ones that aren't very nice?
Oh, yes. There's actually, they are called shadow people.
Have you ever met any draconians?
Any what?
Draconians?
No, not that I know of.
No.
I've never filmed them anyway. No, I've not met them, but I have had shadow entities around me, which is a dark energy life force, and when I'm getting pictures of the other lights that come to me, I've seen these shadows come up around me, and it's really jet black, and it's almost like the head and shoulders of a body. And it's been in my house quite a few times. I haven't seen them now for about 4 or 5 months. But when they were around me for like 2 or 3 years. When I went to the field, they started appearing to me. They started coming in my front garden. That garden, then they came into my house, and I just photograph them. And I basically tell them, you shouldn't be here with me. I'm connected with the good light of the universe. You should go away. They just come nosing around. I've checked this out with other people in other parts of the world. They've seen similar things. But a lot of times when they've seen them, they come up off the ground, stand up right in front of them.
Yeah.
The ones that I get around me end up being flat on the floor and coming around me. They're absolutely jet black.
Yeah, I've read not a lot, but I've read a fair bit about shadow people. So there's a lot out there, isn't there, about shadow people?
There's a lot of negativity when they're around me, and I'm not happy about that at all, Sandra.
No.
So I tell them basically to get lost.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be with me. They come for a nosy. I've been told I would get this happening because I also get paranormal things that happen around me, which means like spooks. They shadow people out the spooks, but I have filmed other spooky things next to me because the energy it builds up around me, it's like a portal to them, sort of thing. I'm like a magnet, and it attracts them. So spiritual churches in York have asked me to go visit them to see if I can get through to the relatives. Another thing is, if I do that, I will be worn out. And I've been told to be careful not to get involved in too many things. Yeah. Because it drains you.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone down that road. Because this started when my mother-in-law lost a battle with cancer over 4 years ago. Never believed in my ET connections, but in the last few years she did. Yeah. And started backing me up. And I told her when she went into a coma for a couple of days, and I was sat with her on the bed at hospice, and the staff were going, well, why is your husband talking to you? And then she's in a coma. She can't hear him anymore. And she says, leave my husband alone, this is what he does. So I says, remember I taught you, Pat, all you're going to do is change. My mother-in-law was called Pat. And I says, no oblivion, no going off into the darkness, you'll just change and you'll understand once you've changed. I says, if you can manage it, come and see us when you've changed. On the Thursday, early hours at morning, around that 2 o'clock, she changed. I don't use a die word. On the Saturday, my wife went off to her ballet school still. Came in at 6 o'clock. Our daughter came from her house to visit us, who was about 25 then. Says, can I come and stay with you, Mum and Dad, for a weekend? I'm right upset I've lost my nana. And I said, you haven't. She just changed him. He thought, go, don't be daft, Dad, blah, blah, blah. So we had a group hug, and I said, I've got to get my camera. And my wife says, you're not going to go out now. I've lost my mum 2 days ago and visit your ET buddies. And I said, no, I've something to show you. I walked in the middle of the living room in front of me, 4-foot fish tank, and I said, somebody's come to see you. And I take this photograph, and I took a photograph, and next to me, a brown segment of a pillar of brown light appeared next to me, because they couldn't see with naked eye, with tiny golf ball size orbs of energy in it, and then like a white cat's tail, but a black bit on the end of it, was curled round on the floor and went up to the ceiling. And it's what you've called, I've shown it to other spirituals and other ones, ectoplasm. And it was my mother-in-law, changed 2 days later, and that she just wanted visitors to show us how she'd changed, and she was moving on. And I photographed it. Isn't that pretty cool?
Brilliant, that's brilliant.
That'll be in the book at all.
This is going to be a great book.
It's going to stun people. There won't be another one like it.
I'm looking forward to it. Really, really, really am. Well, Bill, that was brilliant.
So that was a mixture for you, wasn't it, Sandra?
I know an awful lot more now than I did when we first started.
I hope I haven't blown your mind too much.
No, that's great. It's just what I wanted, because I didn't know much about these fairies and and what have you, and your arm. That was when I first seen that picture on Facebook. That freaked me right out. Yeah,
not in a nice way.
No, it was like, what? I mean, how many people do you know that glow? I don't know anybody. So I definitely wanted to speak to you. It was like, I've got to talk to him. His arm glows. There's something special about him.
Well, they were going to do a conference in Morecambe, which got cancelled a while ago, and Tina Marie was going to come over from America, and I was going to go stand next to Eric Morecambe's statue in Morecambe and photograph my hand glowing next to Eric Morecambe for them.
Yeah.
Because he's always had that catchphrase, isn't it? Bring me sunshine.
Bring me
So I was going to say, well, I'm
sunshine.
going to bring you the cosmic sunshine, Eric.
Oh.
And I was going to light my hand up next to Erin August statue, but the conference got cancelled because the guy that was organising it, unfortunately, was not well. So that's what I had planned to do. And for Tina when she was coming over from the States, so well, I'll do it again some other day somewhere else.
Yeah, but that's a great idea though with Eric Morecambe's
And that'd
statue.
be a good picture to get.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
brilliant.
what I was planning to do. That'd be my first visit to Morecambe.
Oh.
If I ever get there again, I shall do it.
Yeah. Oh, you do that. You definitely do that. Right. I am hoping that I can get to the news. So, Bill, thank you. Alien Bill from Yorkshire.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you very much for.
I hope I've opened the minds of a few of your listeners. Tell
So
them to keep believing.
well,
The universe is a lot stranger and magical than most people could ever imagine.
yeah. Right, well, I've sorted the tune out and just hope I can get to the news. So once again, thank you very much for coming on, Bill, and I'll talk to you soon on Facebook.
Yes, we'll stay in touch, Sandra.
Yeah. Oh, thanks a lot, Bill.
Thank you for having me on.
Okay, cheers, thanks a lot, bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh, wasn't that brilliant? Completely brilliant. And I just hope I can get to the news and come back next week and feed yourself.
Smiling, you're reading my mind that I'm ready to get it on. Don't worry, I won't hold back. Don't waste your time, we got plenty of that. The way you look underneath the sunlight is bringing on my appetite. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em. Ooh, don't stop, I want more. It's like honey, baby, pour. That's hot, sweet to the core. You got the sugar that I'm craving for. It's the perfect way to start our day. Please don't go, baby, stay, let's play. Early in the morning, I'ma give you something priceless. Come and get this loving, baby. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em.
She give me kisses every morning, yeah. Lisa, you are my darling. She give me on the bed, on the floor, yeah. Even on the chapel. She kiss me everywhere when me like. She know breakfast in bed, me no time. Set me sweet like ice cream on Sunday night. She can't wait for ride from my bike, yeah. She rub on my body and fall in love, in love, in love. She tell the whole her friend and her family, say I miss she love. Anybody out there we don't know love, well this is love. When me turn up her appetite, she give me kisses,
Kisses for
love.
breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em. Kisses for breakfast.
She give me all, this is them, yeah.
Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Love me, touch me, keep me wanting. Kisses for breakfast early in the morning. Tell me, baby, how you want 'em.
To lunch with Martin Williams every Friday, 12 till 2 p.m.
Hi, it's MFW at WFM. Join me every Friday for
Your Views.
Bunch of fellas talking a load of balls. That always tickles me, that. I think it's fantastic.